Let's talk about the birth timeline of Gypsy Rose Blanchard's daughter, Aurora, because honestly, it's a web of contradictions that leaves us all scratching our heads. First, let's look at what TMZ reported. Gypsy gave birth on New Year's Day. According to her, it happened a little after 6 a.m. But when you compare that claim to the messages exchanged between Kristy Blanchard and Bri, things don't quite add up. At 7 a.m., Bri texted Kristy asking how Gypsy was doing. Kristy replied that Gypsy was doing great and was at 6 centimeters dilated. At 9:25 a.m., Kristy sent another update saying Gypsy had reached 10 centimeters. So how does this timeline make any sense? If Gypsy wasn't fully dilated until 9:25 a.m., how could the birth have already happened 3 hours earlier? Now let's throw in another layer, the hacker. According to Gypsy, she was hacked on December 28th at around 1:30 a.m. That's also the time she claimed she arrived at the hospital. But it gets bizarre. Gypsy was supposedly texting back and forth with this hacker while she was in labor, during her epidural, and while she was having a 2-hour nap. Think about that for a second. How does someone in active labor, hooked up to monitors, receiving an epidural, also have the time and energy to be texting with a hacker? And let's not forget, she was napping. She was already multitasking her way through supposed hacking incident while in labor. It just doesn't make sense. Then there's this issue of timing. Gypsy claims she gave birth at a little after 6, but the messages show she was at 6 centimeters. You don't go from 6 centimeters to delivering a baby in minutes. It usually takes hours. So where's the truth in all of this? Was there a little mix-up in reporting? Did someone exaggerate the details? Or is there more to the story that we're not being told? I personally think it's the latter. With so many inconsistencies, it's hard not to question what's really going on here. What do you think about this tangled timeline? Are we looking at a simple misunderstanding, or is there something bigger behind these contradictions? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear what you think. Thanks for watching.
Pitocin to kind of speed things up a little bit.
Right.
And then I took like a 2-hour nap. And then I wake up from my 2-hour nap. They check my cervix. I'm 10 centimeters dilated. And they're like, okay, my doctor's like, it's time to push. And I'm like, my eyes got so big. Chris can't even tell you that my eyes got so big because I'm like, oh my God, here it comes.
Was it just Ken in there with you?
Ken was in there. Yeah, Ken was in there.
No, I'm saying, was it just Ken?
Yeah, it was just Ken. So